It all goes down on garbage time. Katie and Nolan on my mind. She's so smart and she's so fine. Kind of creepy.
Yeah.
It all goes down on garbage time. Yay!
Garbage time. I'm your host, Katie Nolan. Tonight on the show, I actually talk to Alexi, Lalas. We get you some highlights from the Garbage Time convention, and Kobe Bryant plays ping pong for Chinese food. That'll make sense later. But first, we are in a bit of a slow season in sports. There's stuff going on, but not a ton of stuff. But that doesn't mean we can stop paying attention. In fact, this is the time when we have to pay the most attention. The sports we love may be in danger. And while everyone is kicking their feet up and sipping on lemonade, it's up to us here at Garbage Time to assess some of the risks out there and let you guys know what's worth worrying about. So first up, with so many things out there to distract athletes, social media, personal logos, Johnny Manziel, it can be hard for them to focus on sports. But according to the New York Post this week, there's one distraction that's more dangerous than all the rest. Their lady friends. That's right, their wives and girlfriends are ruining their careers. And that might sound like it makes sense, but really, it doesn't. Being single in 2016 is a full-time job. It takes a lot of work. So marriage is fine. A single Aaron Rodgers could never have thrown those two amazing Hail Marys because he would have been way too focused on trying to nail Marys. So yeah, we've assessed the danger here and deem wives and girlfriends no risk to the sports we love. Pokemon Go is sweeping the nation. Everyone is playing. It combines the addictiveness of Candy Crush with the wonderment of leaving your house. It was harmless at first. We made jokes about it on Twitter and reminisced about the nerds we knew who used to play it. But then people started walking off cliffs and getting in car accidents, and now, even worse than those things, it's starting to creep into our sports. Yep, a Pikachu showed up on Nick Saban's desk, an MMA fighter put a dent in a guy's skull and then rolled a Pokeball at him while he was laying on the mat bleeding, and now they're taking over our stadiums.
Memorial Stadium is normally a place people go to watch a Husker game, but today it became a haven for Pokemon Go fans.
I watched Pokemon since I was little, and I collected the card game, and I just like Pokemon in general. It's really fun. I heard rumors that there are Blastoise and like Venusaurs and Charizards here.
Blastoise and Venusaurs and Charizards, oh my. It's mostly fine because our football stadiums are empty right now, and I'm pretty sure you could play an entire game in left field for the Mets and still have time to catch them all or whatever. So we will say Pokemon Go in athletic venues poses a Pokemon low risk to sports. Puns rolling. You can love two things separately and also not love them together, like hot dogs and pizza. Ew. Or NKOTBSB. Ew again. I love athletes. I love reality dating shows. I hate this.
Travis Kelce is here, NFL superstar, and now the subject of an e-reality show. The show is called Catching Kelce. Hello. They line up 50 gals for you, and your friends help pick these women?
They help me make the decision. So the premiere is on E! On October 5th, Wednesday.
Right. Oh, great. Great. Another new sports show on Wednesday nights. More importantly, guys, I thought we were done with the athletes on dating shows thing. Didn't we all watch Ocho Cinco, The Ultimate Catch? That's a trick question because no, none of us watched Ocho Cinco, The Ultimate Catch. That's my point. It's bad enough when athletes do these reality dating shows once their careers are basically over. Ocho Cinco, Jesse Palmer, Jordan Rogers. We'll put career in air quotes. But Kelce is a legit player right now. We should be worried about how this will affect him. And, I mean, look what it's doing to him already.
once we get them in the house, I select one for like a big group date, and that's where the strategy comes in, because from there, the one that I pick for the group date has to go around and see who she wants to bring along with her. And that's where the strategy comes in.
Because she doesn't.
And all the yapping in the house gets going. So.
all those hens yapping. It's a very modern.
Broads, am I right? Well, they're the worst. Not good, Kelsey. So we are going to deem current athletes doing dating shows high risk, which is also probably what a medical professional would deem that house. Lastly, you know how sometimes a thing happens and the result or consequence of that thing isn't what you expected? Sometimes it's a good thing, like when you get bit by a spider and it hurts, but then you turn into a cool superhuman spider dude. But other times, that unexpected thing is really, really bad.
Baylor football fans have been a happy bunch the last few years, filling up McLean Stadium and making the home field advantage just that for the Bears as they've battled for Big 12 championships. There were many who thought that run of support would take a hit this year after a rough offseason for the program. Instead, Baylor sold a record number of season tickets and at the same time sold out of them in just a matter of hours.
Yup. Also important to note, this doesn't include the tickets they hold for students. So that means this is mostly boosters and alumni buying up a record amount of tickets while Baylor is in the middle of very publicly botching the handling of a massive problem of sexual assault on campus. Good job, guys. That'll teach them. So yeah, we're going to deem Baylor fans that aren't students an ultra high risk to sports. Yeah. And also everything. Just stop. So that's your risk assessment, guys. Worry accordingly. Coming up, Alexi Lalas explains to me why American soccer fans are. But first, with the Republican National Convention this week and the Democratic National Convention next week, this felt like the right time to remind people of the most important tenets of the Garbage Time Party platform. This I feel very, very strongly about. Hot dogs are not sandwiches. Sandwiches are meat or vegetables or various cheeses between two pieces of bread. Anyone who says hot dogs are basically that will be publicly shamed. Because use some goddamn common sense, it's a hot dog. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. When filming a video on your phone, you must turn the phone horizontally. We have to come together to end vertical videos. Oh, except on Snapchat, because the kids tell me that that's how that app works. Welcome back to Garbage Time, ladies. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. As we mentioned before, not a lot going on in sports right now. But on the bright side, that means we have a lot to look forward to. Yep. So let's pull out the Garbage Time calendar and take a look ahead. There it is. First up, let's look ahead 4 days from now to this year's Baseball Hall of Fame induction. The annual event that makes us all wish they made PEDs for public speaking. This year's inductees are Ken Griffey Jr., Mike Piazza, and Mike Piazza's mustache. Next, let's look ahead 16 days from now to the opening ceremonies of the Summer Olympics. You know that dream where you have a huge research project due and you totally forget to do it? These Olympics are like that, but with stadiums. And you should see the Olympic torch this year. Yeah, you just take the bug spray and you hold a lighter in front. Don't try that at home, kids. If baseball or the Olympics aren't getting you excited, what's wrong with you? Just kidding. Let's look ahead 18 days from now to the NFL preseason opener. The NFL preseason. All the injuries, none of the fantasy points. It's like a Tinder date you think is going to be awesome until you lose interest 3 minutes in. But wait, there's more of the good stuff. Let's look ahead 40 days to the US Open right here in New York. Take the world's train to catch the world's most glamorous sport. Want to go to Queens? No! What about if we go to watch tennis? Still no! But I'm not really busy, so fine. And okay, guys, 50 days from now, the NFL season is finally upon us. Yes, it'll be the first NFL season opener since 1997 where Tom Brady and Peyton Manning won't be involved. Yeah, one of those players cheated and lied about it, and the other is Tom Brady. Allegedly. But you know, screw 50 days from now. The real NFL season starts in 81 days when Tom Brady returns to the football field. That's right, 81 days gives me plenty of time to learn how to spell Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's just hope it's not with 4 L's. Don't worry right now, guys. I know you're bored, but there's lots on the Garbage Time calendar to look ahead to. Moving on. Yeah, it's a good segment. You'll see more of it. Or maybe you won't. We could get canceled at any minute. Moving on to soccer. Yeah, you only need to look ahead 4 days to this weekend's showdown between NYCFC and the New York Red Bulls to get Fox soccer analyst and king of the gingers, Alexi Lalas, excited. That's an official nickname. We looked it up. Just kidding. And since he was going to be in town anyway, I had him stop by to talk soccer fans, concerns about the Olympics, and why they call a soccer rivalry a derby. Check it out. Alexi Lalas.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You're in town for the NYCFC versus Red Bulls game.
Yes.
This is the New York Derby, right? Because they're both from New York.
Yeah, yes. Well, so it's New York versus New York, and when I say New York, for the Red Bulls, I really mean New Jersey because it's where they play and where they are from. So.
But here's another thing even more confusing to me. Has bothered me forever.
Okay.
It's called the Derby, but then some people say
It's spelled the Derby.
Derby.
It's just a rivalry. I mean, you can call it. I mean,
No, but why? Why do people call
it's
it
a little
Derby?
pretentious.
It bothers
because
me so much.
internationally, they often call it that.
The home run derby?
No, definitely. Sometimes sports can reflect life, and I'm sorry to break this to you. I know that you're young. But life is unfair. Life is about the gray areas, all right? Life is not black and white.
It's spelled Derby.
Okay.
I'm a new soccer fan.
Yes.
I'm trying, and every time I'm like, blah, blah, blah just happened in soccer game. People are like, you don't even watch every soccer game ever that's ever happened. Why?
It hurts me that that's happening to you.
Why?
Well, why? Because number one, we in the soccer community in the United States can be terrific, okay? And it stems from the fact that there's incredible ownership with this game, but we're also, to a certain extent, insecure. We come from a sport that, for years, we've been told you're nothing, we've been disrespected, we've been thrown out at the doors, and now that soccer starts to come of age and come above ground, it's kind of like when you have a band that you follow, and you saw them in the clubs, and there was that intimacy and back and forth, and then they sell 1 million albums, and they're selling out stadiums, and they are everybody's band now, and we don't want to let that go.
Yeah, the hipster mentality.
Yeah,
I don't get
so
it. How are you
I
supposed to
apologize,
grow?
though, if you feel that it's not being inclusive and that you want to be in soccer, and people are doing things or saying things to you that makes you feel inferior, I apologize. It has been given to me this power to be able to take people that aren't necessarily soccer people and bring them into the soccer family. So, I now am telling you right now, you, Katie Nolan, are soccer. You are part of the soccer family. And anybody that gives you crap, tell them to talk to me.
I was just knighted.
Yes, basically. But you have to do me a favor in return.
Okay.
Going forward, when you talk about the major sports in the United States, instead of saying the top 4, okay, I want you always to say now there are 5 major sports in the United States. Can you do that for me, Katie Nolan?
Yes, I will say there are 5 major sports in the United States. Well, 4 and 1's in Jersey.
There we go. I'll take it. Baby steps, baby steps.
The Olympics start in 2 weeks.
Yes, they do.
Obviously, there's growing concern about the safety of the athletes. Do you think that enough is being done to make sure all the athletes are safe?
When it comes to their health and their safety, when it comes to Zika and all this kind of stuff, I think it's going to be a personal decision by all of these athletes as to whether they want to do that. Because, you know, I mean, Olympics, you work all of your life for this moment, and to not be given that moment because of something that you have no control over and have to make that decision whether to say, no, I'm not going to do it. I bet you it's a very difficult and personal decision for all of them to make.
Probably especially difficult because, as we were talking about before, American soccer fandom is growing, and it sort of depends on these national stages.
Yeah, from a soccer perspective, we are still growing. And we cannot afford to waste them when they come. These opportunities, platforms to say, you know what, we continue to get better and better. We have great players, we have great teams, and one day we will win the Men's World Cup, and we will equal what our women do in terms of winning World Cups. So it's going to be fun this summer to see our women.
One day they will equal what the men get paid.
Yes, exactly.
So a thing people might not know about you. You're like a legit musician.
I've been doing music all of my life, so I take it as seriously as I ever did soccer, and I love to do it.
Luckily for you, I keep a guitar here.
Cool.
At all times in the studio.
Yes.
And so I was wondering if I could play it for you.
Yes, come on. That's it? That's all you got?
Yeah.
All right.
No, I'm just kidding. I was wondering if you could maybe play the Garbage Time theme song.
I heard, I was listening to it before the show. It's very simple.
Simple, but also complex.
Beautifully simple. And yes, and underneath there's nuance and complexity.
Just like the game of soccer.
Just like the game of soccer. Here we go.
Oh, it sounds so much better like this. This is good. I like this. I'm feeling this. It's mysterious when you do it.
I think that's it.
That's beautiful.
That's it.
That was beautiful. Now, play Wonderwall.
Yeah.
It was perfect. Alexi, thank you so much for coming by. I know you're very busy. Everyone be sure to watch him on Big Fox for the New York Derby.
Derby rivalry at 12:30 on Fox.
12:30, Big Fox, Alexi Lalas. Yeah, Alexi Lalas. Yeah, it's pretty good, right? Be sure to check out Alexi's new album, Shots. I'm assuming our theme will be a track on his next one. Coming up, you think you could drink enough beer to build a boat? Stick around to find out. Oh, it's Alexi! I propose that if you propose at a stadium, you should have to invite everyone that attended that game to your wedding. Open bar, not optional. Shots, 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 shots. Everybody! Thank you. Welcome back to Garbage Time, guys. It's time for Ad Draw. We had some chips for a segment we had to cut, so I'm just gonna eat them. First up, I'm gonna add this food delivery company in China because they chose to cast an American sports icon in a ping pong match for a new commercial. You're in a stadium. Why do you have to order food? Just go get a hot dog. I'm gonna drop the Korean baseball organization because for their all-star game, they tried to one-up the home run derby by hosting a different, slightly less exciting competition.
선수를 박영민 선수는 거의 번트 잘 될 거예요. 5점이에요. 만점. 5점. 첫 번째 만점이 나왔습니다. 대단합니다. 박영민. 두 번째. 자, 이번에도 속도가
Found it. I found the way to make curling less cool. And finally, I'm going to add Bubba Watson's new golf jet pack. Okay, yes, it's kind of stupid to trade a two-person golf cart for a one-person jetpack. You look like a large bug, and it's super expensive if you think about the fuel, and it's probably really dangerous, but it's cool, and I want one, so I'm adding it. And I'm going to drop, that's logic, I'm going to drop the beer can regatta. They do this every year in Darwin, Australia. Teams of people build boats out of beer cans and race. You'd think I'd love that, right? Well, I do, and I would be awesome at it, which is why I'm going to drop it, because I wasn't even invited. Are you kidding me? Come on, Australia. Give me a beer can boat. Damn it. That's it for... Ah! That's beautiful. Look at me and my friends on a boat. That's it for Ad Drop. Oh, this is the most ridiculous ridiculous episode of this show ever. Coming up, we shout out Marky Mark, but not the Funky Bunch. Not the Funky Bunch. We'll be right back. I'm swimming. When attending a professional sporting event, do not bring a sign with the network as an acronym. Eagles, Slam, Packers, now. Have some self-respect and off. Welcome back to Garbage Time, guys. Running out of time in the show, but there's some stuff we didn't cover, so before we go, some quick shout-outs. First, shout out to Ballers executive producer Mark Wahlberg, who claimed Roger Goodell called him to try and stop NFL players from appearing on the show. The commissioner went on to say, "Please don't tell anyone I watch Ballers." Shout out to the NFL, which is considering putting computer chips into footballs to collect data. Chips? Asked Rob Ryan. Shout out to Charles Tillman, who retired from the NFL this week by posting a video of himself punching things online, which is kind of how Ray Rice announced his retirement too, if you think about it. Finally, shout out to our Garbage Time Hero of the Week. This week, it's this guy. Good for you, man. You nailed that. That's all for this week, guys. Next week on Garbage Time, Cleveland gets back to worrying about why LeBron hasn't re-signed yet, and I Snapchat a recording of the phone call I had with Darren Ravel, where he approved of all my jokes about him. Thanks to Alexi Lalas for coming by and singing to me, and to you guys for watching. Have a great week. Here's more garbage and more chips. This startup Chinese food delivery company, I did it again. I'm so used to saying Chinese food.
Now you guys, now you wanted to do it.